Okay, so this is my post-Oxford Capstone video. I'm just going to start by answering the questions, and then if I have more to say, I'll say it afterwards. The first question that was asked was, how has my experience influenced my view of global public health as it relates to nursing? Well, this whole class was revolving around global public health care, and to say that it didn't influence me would be a lie. It definitely showed me that there's a whole another side to healthcare, that we live in a little bubble that's called America, and everything's perfect in America, and everyone has healthcare in America. And that's actually not true. Not everyone does, but the majority do, and we're better off here because it is a first world country. But in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world, in other parts of every continent, there's both good healthcare and bad healthcare, and it's crazy to think that some people get to benefit while others don't. And that's all because of global public health. The people who don't get to benefit from healthcare are the ones who will be helped by global public health. And because we have it so well off, it's important to consider how this affects other people and how we can make that difference because we have the resources to do so. So that's pretty much, it opened my eyes to this whole new idea that, there are people who really don't have health care. And we all knew that was the case, but we never knew how prominent it was. Well, I never knew how prominent it was. The next question is, have you changed on a personal level as a result of the experience? I think I definitely have changed on a personal level. In America, we take everything for granted. We have our cars that take us everywhere. We are pretty lazy, things like that. The biggest part of Oxford that impacted me the most was walking around and realizing that I love to walk, which is crazy, but it's true. I loved walking around. I loved walking to class. I loved walking to the grocery store. And I think that's what impacted me the most, was getting to experience this new culture where you just walk around. Other than that, on a personal level, I think I also learned how to balance the way I act around people. Normally, if someone bothered me or if I felt like there was a harsh personality, I would avoid them and never run into that person again. But in this case, we're all kind of leaders. We all kind of have that harsh side, and I had to learn to work with it, and I had to learn to actually cater to their own personalities and their own strengths and use that to my advantage rather than just walk away and find people that were a little less intense. That's honestly the biggest thing that affected me personally that I learned during this trip. It says to think about how I changed on a personal level from the moment I decided to apply. Honestly, I learned that I should never miss an opportunity. I should take every single one. I really considered not applying for this program. I'm sure all of us considered not applying for the program, pushing us back a term, having to go to another country, living there, the amount of money it would take, all sorts of these things, leaving my relationship, leaving my family, leaving my dog. It's crazy to think of how much I did give up for this program, but I'm so happy I gave it all up for a month to be in this amazing program. And I'm never going to give up, and I'm never going to forgo an opportunity. If there's something that I can get, I'm going to go for it. And if I get it, awesome. If I don't, I'm going to keep trying, because every single opportunity is an opportunity that I should take. And that's what I picked up from the moment I decided to apply to now being back home, is to take every single opportunity that's given to me. What do I want to do next? Well, I definitely do want to consider global public health care. I think it's amazing. I don't know if I'll be traveling as much to do so, but I do want to work with other nurses who are going to be giving back to other communities. I think it's a great way to be a nurse. What does all of this change mean to you? Well, from the moment I applied to the moment I got back, I've changed on a personal level. I've changed in my own relationship with my boyfriend. I've changed in my own relationship with my parents. I've changed in the way that I talk to others, in the way that I'm going to address my classmates, my friends. And I honestly think all of this change has affected me positively, that it's all such a great way to experience this trip that I just would never have imagined. Me changing to other people, I would assume they enjoyed the change. Everyone's kind of noticed that I have changed a little bit, but they all still love me, so I'm guessing that means that I changed for the better. Hopefully that's the case. How will I use this cultivated knowledge and serve the community and or the nursing profession? Well, the biggest thing I learned during this trip as far as nursing is related is that everyone has a backstory. And I know that's not directly nursing, but it's true and it does apply. Every single one of my classmates had a backstory, and I would have never imagined them to have such backstories. It's crazy to think about where we all came from and how that affects the way we act. And that's the biggest piece of knowledge that I'm going to use in my nursing career, is to remember that all these people that I'm taking care of have some sort of backstory. They have a reason why they're in the hospital. They have a reason why they don't want to be in the hospital. They have a reason for being either motivated about getting out or demotivated and being helpless. They have reasons for all of it. And talking is the only way to get to those reasons. Discovering people, figuring them out. Therapeutic communication. I think overall, this experience was once in a lifetime, I think. And if I could do it all over again, I totally would. There are some things I would change, but I would totally do this all over again. And I had such an amazing time. Thank you to the professors, Gil, everybody else who was part of getting us here. And thank you. And Tina.